the bike, a Suzuki GR650, 1984. And I am going to change the appearance of it. I'm going to change the looks, a little bit on the performance. So I thought I'd tell you about that and tell you why. And then the second part of this video, in a few minutes, I'll be back home and I'll show you on the computer screen a mock-up, kind of a virtual visualization of the way I think I'm going to go with the bike. So first of all, have a close look. Now, you know, it's got some awkward lines to me. I mean, it's got some nice line from the tank and then the seat, and then all of a sudden it goes up from the seat, and instead of continuing down in a flow with the back fender, it suddenly goes up like a duckbill. And, you know, big, clunky, awkward looking seat. What I'm going to do, well, I'll show you on the mock-up, but basically it's going to create the lines flowing up and then down again. And I'll modify the fenders. I have some aftermarket mufflers coming. So let's go home and I'll show you what I've done on the computer visualization. Share my vision for Bonnie with you. Now, this is, as you know, the stock look. And take a good look. It's not bad, but you know the lines, the way they come down like this, up with the curve of the seat, and then up again with the grab bar and the seat. Then you got the usual monstrosity of a tail light. So what I've got is, and this is just some tweaks that I did to visualize, and I used a program GIMP, which is kind of like Adobe Photoshop, but I sometimes prefer GIMP. Now this is where I'm headed, and it didn't take a whole lot of modification in order to achieve that look. So basically it's the same seat, but instead of then continuing it up, I will cut the seat back here and then make sure that that portion is supported, and then make a cowling, probably out of fiberglass, that will just slope down, continuing the lines of the tank. So now instead of, you know, flipping off the back like that, it'll down like this, up like this, and down like that, kind of like an S-curve, So it's a lot more pleasing, at least to me. And the fender, cutting back on the fender, so it's chopped front and rear, getting rid of the tail light, and then as you notice, or you might, there's a little fabbed tail light that I will produce, and it's right there, and that'll be a semicircular piece. So looking down from the top of it, it will be like that, and wiring will be underneath the cowling there. So that shouldn't be too hard to produce, and that'll be a nice discrete tail light that will be effective, but go along with the design that I'm going for. You'll notice the exhaust is different, the muffler, and I've already ordered those. Those are 17-inch shorty reverse cone. I don't like the look of the megaphone mufflers. Just not a fan of it, you know. So that to me looks better, and I've ordered black. It'll be actually a matte black, but anyway, just for the rendering, it was easy for me to do this rather. And it has a chrome tip, so that'll be more or less the look of that exhaust. It's going to be a bit tricky because the stock exhaust is welded on just past the crossover pipe that joins the two headers. So I've got to cut the stock exhaust off, grind the weld, and so forth before I can put that on. And the other thing you notice, That bracket is the seat peg for the rear pegs, the mount, and then also it forms a bracket mounting point for the bracket on the stock muffler. I don't think it has any other function, but I'll check carefully. And because what I've done is I've eliminated it here. And I may put a knee pad there, knee grips. So I'll figure all that out. And I might use some pinstriping as I've done here. Elsewhere, we'll see. The bars will be flatter, not the slope back bars. I find them uncomfortable on the highway when the wind pushes you a little bit, and then you're actually having to grip a little bit more. You know, I don't like to grip the bars. I just like to. So if they're straight bars, straighter, then they're going to be a lot more comfortable for me. And then plus, I can tuck my butt back into here where it's going to be comfy and lean forward just slightly. That'll be better for my spine. So we've got the cans coming, but I've also ordered from Six Sigma Jet Kits a carb upgrade kit for the 2 carbs. And what that'll be is Six Sigma, they design the kits based on your inputs. So having it designed for a slightly opened air box, but with the stock air filter, because it has a nice sizable foam air filter on this bike stock. So I want to keep that, but I'll just open the snorkels out a little bit. And then that the mufflers, they'll be a little bit more free flow than stock. So I'll have a little bit more flow through the engine, so they're going to design the upgrade kit with that in mind. And also the elevation I ride at, maybe somewhere between 900 and 2,500 feet on average. So all that'll be worked into the kit. And then the other thing I'm going to do, see the seat now, I think it looks good like that. It's a very comfortable seat. I've been in that saddle for 6 hours. On one ride, and I was comfortable. Didn't have a sore butt at all, so I like the seat. But what I'll do is I'll reupholster it. So if I go with this deep red, it'll actually be deeper than that if I go with red. Then what I'll do is I will do the seat in a tufted kind of chestnut color. I think that would be cool. And then the hand grips I'll wrap in the same material that I do the seat in, perhaps, you know, just to kind of tie it in. And then with the pinstriping, I can bring out the chestnut or a more gold version of the chestnut in pinstriping. Yeah, so anyway, there you go, folks. That's the visualization for Bonnie. All right, take care. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you have any suggestions, feel free. Or criticisms, feel free. Cheers. Bye.